All right, in this explainer, we're diving into a challenge that, honestly, is keeping leaders up at night. How in the world do you take all the amazing power of modern AI and plug it into the systems that were built decades ago, but still run, your entire company? It's a huge question of survival and innovation. So let's get into it. I mean, this is really the ultimate high-stakes problem, right? You've got these mission-critical platforms. They are the backbone of your business, but they were never, ever designed for an AI-first world. So how do you build that bridge without the whole thing collapsing? That's what we're going to unpack. To really wrap your head around the scale of this, just look at this number. A wild 70% of the software used by Fortune 500 companies is more than 20 years old. Just let that sink in for a second. The very foundation of our global economy, we're talking banking, insurance, logistics, it's all running on tech from a different century. And here's the hidden trap that comes with that. Up to 80% of an IT budget can get completely eaten up just keeping the lights on for these old systems. That leaves next to nothing for actual innovation. Your brilliant AI projects, they're often starved of cash before they even get off the ground. So you can see how this puts leaders at a really tough crossroads. The pressure to go all in on AI is just massive, but a full rip and replace of your core systems, for most, it's way too expensive and way too risky. That means integration is pretty much the only path forward, and it's a path that is loaded with hurdles. So let's start with the first and maybe the most fundamental set of challenges here. We're talking about the deep, deep incompatibilities between the old world of tech and the brand new world of AI. And wow, that divide is stark. On one side, you've got the legacy world. Think COBOL, isolated mainframes, proprietary everything. And on the other, the AI world, Python, cloud, open APIs, all about being interconnected. They were built on totally different philosophies. They basically speak different languages. And the number one consequence of that legacy world, it's this right here, data silos. For decades, every department just built its own little fortress of data. The sales software doesn't talk to the billing system, which doesn't talk to the shipping platform. So getting one single clean view of your business, the very thing AI desperately needs, is almost impossible. And that brings us to a really critical point. Think of it like this. If data is the fuel for your AI engine, then silos are like having dozens of separate, rusty gas cans. With that kind of fragmented fuel, your engine is just going to sputter and fail. The insights you get will be limited at best, and at worst, it could be dangerously wrong. Okay, next hurdle. Let's say you do solve the data problem. Well, connecting old systems to new ones opens up a whole new minefield of security and compliance risks. You're definitely opening doors for innovation, but you might be opening them for new threats too. The foundation you're building on is already kind of shaky. About 70% of data breaches happen at companies with vulnerable legacy systems. These platforms just don't have modern security. So when you connect a shiny new AI tool, you risk waking up vulnerabilities that have been lying dormant for years. And hey, it's not just about cyber threats. You are stepping into a legal and regulatory maze. Those old systems are full of sensitive data that's governed by rules like GDPR. And now you're adding brand new AI-specific laws on top, like the EU AI Act, which demand that you can explain your automated decisions. You have to prove your AI isn't biased, all while it's feeding on data from a 30-year-old system. Good luck with that. Now, as complicated as all the tech is, you know what can be even harder? The people, the human factor. You can have the most elegant technical solution in the world, but if your people aren't on board, the project is basically toast. First off, there's this massive talent gap. The demand for AI skills is just blowing past the supply, and more than half of IT leaders say they're feeling that pinch. But the real challenge? It's finding those rare people, those unicorns, who understand both the old mainframe and the new machine learning model. And then there's the fear. For employees who've spent their entire careers mastering the way things are now, AI can feel like a direct threat. That feeling is a powerful undercurrent of resistance that can quietly sink even the best projects. This is exactly why the story from leadership is so critical. The most successful projects are always driven by a really clear vision. AI is not here to replace you, it's here to augment you. It's a tool to make your expertise even more powerful, to handle the boring stuff so you can focus on strategy. When you communicate that, you start turning doubters into champions. Which brings us to the final and maybe the most important hurdle of all, the business case. Your CFO, your board, your stakeholders, they are all going to be asking the exact same question. Is this huge, complicated, expensive investment actually going to be worth it? And for a lot of people, the answer so far is kind of a shrug. Over 2/3 of business leaders are saying they haven't seen a measurable return on investment from their AI work yet. Things like better decisions are super hard to put a number on, and that uncertainty can really wear out an executive's patience. So how do you prove the value? Well, you don't try to boil the ocean. The smart way to do it is in phases. Start small, launch a focused pilot project. Use AI to solve one specific, nagging problem. Prove the value there, get some real numbers, and then use that success story to get everybody else on board. Then, and only then, do you start to scale it up. And this is absolutely crucial. This can't just be an IT project. It has to be a business transformation, and it needs to be led by a coalition. You need the CTO with the technical vision, the CISO managing the risk, HR developing the talent, and the business owners making sure every single thing you do is tied to a real strategic goal. When that group works in lockstep, that's when the magic really happens. So, as we wrap this up, this is really the question every leader has to be asking themselves. Is your legacy technology just an anchor, weighing you down with costs and risks? Or, with the right strategy, could it actually be the launchpad for your AI-powered future, packed with decades of rich historical data just waiting to be unlocked? The choice and the challenge is yours.